Welcome back, everybody, to F1TALK, your new source for F1 commentary with myself, Sharif, and my buddy Joe.
Joe.
And, dude, it's been an eventful week, an eventful weekend. We got a lot to cover. Testing just finished up on the new cars. And, then Mercedes debuted their whole new controversial side pod design. Christian Horner is running his mouth again.
And again.
Drive to Survive's new season came out, and we got some stuff to talk about there. And at the end of this week, we're expecting the FIA report to finally, come out. Whether it'll be public or not is up for debate. But let's get into it. Let's start all the way at the top. Let's start with testing. Did you get to check out any of the cars during testing? What were your thoughts, man?
I saw. First of all, Mercedes side pod is gone.
Yeah.
And that was really intriguing, but at the same time very scary, because how the hell are they gonna do the cooling and all that stuff? But again, of course, Christian Horner has something to say, right? Always.
Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll definitely get into that.
Yeah.
But for me, what was really interesting was the new cars. First of all, the wheels, I don't know about you, the wheels look weird, man. Being so large, it's almost like disproportionate for F1.
And it feels like the car is just skating on the road, not like actually planted on the track.
It's funny you brought that up, because I was noticing that when they were driving, okay, we have the porpoising issue, which is created by the whole new underfloor. That's a whole headache to deal with. But then the cars at high speed in the turns were understeering, and the guys were kind of missing their turns. But then at low speed, it was oversteering, because they didn't have the downforce. So I think you're right. The cars they didn't look it's super stable,
It's very, I saw everybody's driving. Red Bull, Max, Hamilton, George Russell, Charles Leclerc, everybody.
Yeah, Sainz.
One issue that I saw in the corner is that it feels like it's sliding around the track.
Definitely.
It doesn't feel like the tire, the rubber is grabbing the surface, the tarmac.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, of course, the jumping up and down, porpoising.
Yeah.
And, that's the issue. But again, Ferrari blew my mind, man. Ferrari's
looking really good.
They actually, out of all the teams' car, Ferrari's car looks much more stable.
Yeah, I gotta say, Ferrari was looking really good. McLaren looked surprisingly good. I gotta give it to them. Red Bull was really starting to get things dialed in.
Yeah.
But man, you've got such a multitude of challenges, right? Because okay, we can't expect the new cars to be as robust as the previous generations. It's a whole new concept, and with the ground effect and the porpoising that was happening, all of the teams were running much stiffer suspension, which was making it much harder for them in the corners, and even the sidewalls for Pirelli are stiffer. So it's a whole number of issues that are kind of competing with one another right now. But
and especially the wheel is large,
very large.
The rim is very, very big. It's 18-inch, and it just feels like the rubber is not enough to grab on the surface.
Yeah, like
for them to go.
I wonder if they had a little bit more sidewall, because the sidewall, for a lot of the people who don't know like cars or motorsports, especially when you're getting into like open wheel racing, that becomes part of your suspension, and
Yeah.
they don't really have that anymore.
They don't have that. Yeah.
So it's I don't know, man. Like it's a really, I'm really interested to see what's gonna happen. And we're hearing from Hamilton and Russell that like the car is not ready. And then if you hop on F1 Twitter, everyone's like, oh, they're sandbagging. Even like a lot of the commentators are saying, oh, they're sandbagging. It's just Mercedes playing mind games. It's like,
Well, they always does that
I-
before.
I don't know if they're doing it so much as they're
Yeah.
trying to be realistic, and then they're going to bring all the data back and make big changes, before
Yeah.
the first
Like-
race.
Yeah, I mean the first race is what, like
Sunday.
next Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
The qualify is Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
And Sunday. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mercedes gonna have another upgrade.
Oh, for sure.
I
for
think
sure.
I think the side part is gonna be changed a little bit more because I think from the designer perspective, from how we work, we usually go blue sky ideations, right? And then you go out, and then you tune it down a bit,
Well,
and tune down a bit.
what's very interesting, and they pointed it out this during testing, Mercedes isn't the only one that kind of thought about reducing the size of the side pod. Williams also arrived at that conclusion too.
Yeah,
It's just I don't think they had as much testing time, for example, as Williams
yeah.
to deal
And
with
Ferrari,
the consequences of doing that new
Yeah.
side pod shape.
And I think that the other team, other than the top three, has a lot of wind tunnel
yeah,
testing time
yeah,
because of their position, the final position from last year.
right.
And the wind tunnel is for aerodynamic purpose.
Yeah.
And by using the wind tunnel, it's gonna gain a lot of advantages, which Mercedes doesn't have. So I think what they are doing right now is using the test. I mean, it's a testing day. They're using the test to test out new concepts,
Yeah.
and then tune down a bit. And also, we can see Red Bull does that as well, because Red Bull originally has their side pod rounded,
Yeah.
but now they are scoping it down
Yep.
to a certain surface.
Yeah. To kind of respond to,
Yeah.
Yeah. which is interesting. Okay, so testing was very interesting. I think I differ from a lot of fans where I don't think the results from testing have any bearing on where the race is actually going to go come week one. But having said that, there's definitely some nice sort of wheel-to-wheel battles that were happening, and really, if that is what we're seeing already, maybe that bodes well for a more competitive season than we've seen before in Formula One.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. But getting on to the next part where we're talking about Mercedes, like zero pod in general, or not in general, much more specifically, what did you think when you saw the new zero pods, as they're being called?
I mean, you can still see a pod there. It's just
Yeah,
like very small. And I'm as a designer myself, and as well as Sharif, we always like to see innovations.
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's innovations. I'm very excited to see how the car performs on the track against people that have side pod.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
It would be so cool to just see, once they have things figured out, the aerodynamic difference and the competitiveness, say, between Ferrari's solution with a really beautifully sculpted side pods versus Mercedes'
I call
zero
that
pod.
hot tops. Hot
top
side
pods.
pod.
Yeah, hot top pods. I like that. No, they're really. I mean, I don't know. For me, I thought it was amazingly innovative. They said that they didn't need to change any of the internal mountings of any of the radiators or the cooling elements. So to manage to still be able to get the same amount of airflow to properly cool, all of the internals while reducing the size of the side pod so dramatically and still maintaining the safety requirements, like, ooh, hot damn, man! Like,
and also the efficiency of the engine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's cooling from the side pod. It's very, like, I just love to see how things will turn out, like, finalize it and how it performs.
Yeah.
And, like, Mercedes it's a big car manufacturer.
Yeah.
I know, like, I kind of know the reason why they go in this route, because ultimately all this technology is going to be on road cars.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they can minimize the internal parts of all the engines and all that stuff, put it on the road car, that will gain a lot of efficiency, a lot of gas mileage, a lot of gain from their road production.
Oh yeah.
And I mean that's what Formula One is about. It's about testing the new experience, the new technology, test it on the track, run it on the track, and then ultimately put it in the road car. That's what Mercedes is doing right now.
Yeah, without a doubt. But of course, our favorite guy in the whole world, Christian Horner, had to shoot his mouth off about the whole thing, calling it illegal and not in the spirit of the rules.
Yeah.
And then turned around and denied that he even said that. And the horrible thing about that denial, honestly, was that it really screwed with the reputation of the person that he had reported it to. If you actually went on to, like, F1 Twitter, you saw just tons of Red Bull fanboys just attacking this guy for saying, oh, you were stirring up crap. You were like, what's more believable? Somebody wrote something completely like uncharacteristic that sounds like Christian Horner, or Christian Horner shot his mouth off. Like, really?
Dude, Christian Horner is, for me, I don't know what to say.
He's a cancer on the sport.
Yeah,
man.
he needs to shut up. Again, I have to say that he needs to shut up.
Dude,
every single thing that he see that he doesn't go his way, he would open his mouth and then start attacking on it.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
Basically, yeah. Either it's someone's dress, or it's someone's car, or it's someone's relationship, or it's someone's, and he is still talking about the controversial finish.
Oh yeah.
Abu Dhabi finish. And you are the one who is causing, I mean, you are the one who got the advantages on it, and then you are still complaining about it.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to move on, man. Just move on.
No, the guy is a nut job, right? Because he shoots his mouth off to this reporter saying it's illegal. Then he says, "Oh, it's weird reading things that I never said in the press." And then it turns around and said, "Well, yeah, I kind of actually did say that, but Red Bull's PR team have to turn around and say, no, those were not official statements." And then within, like a day, he turns around and says, "Oh no, it seems that they are legal, but we'll let the FIA decide ultimately." Well,
Yeah.
no shit, that's how things work, dude. Like, the FIA is the ultimate ruling body. Yes, you can bring up complaints, you can, petition to have them investigated and so forth. But, dude, why drag this reporter's name in the mud? Why, create this whole shitstorm? There are, like, very clear methods for if you see something that you feel is illegal, you register an official complaint, it gets investigated, all said and done. Why all of this whole PR shit show, that he always needs to do, right? And just like you were saying, he's now, continuing to run his mouth about Mercedes, saying that they're trying to discredit Max's win by staying quiet and saying, oh, well, we may not participate in Formula One in the next season. Well, obviously, because the rules were broken, and he completely ignores that fact in his gaslighting repeatedly. Oh, he just applied the rules in a way that they have never been applied before. Like, screw you, dude.
That's called breaking rules.
Yes. That's exactly what it is. The guy didn't get removed from his position, i.e. Michael Massey, right? Because he did a stellar job.
Dude, I just can't believe, December, January, February, March, 4 months after, we're still talking about this situation.
Yeah.
Where Christian Horner, like, shitting on everybody.
Dude, and he's talking about or making comments that he could have made back in like January or February. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, okay, that's done and over with. Why are you still trying to bring up the controversy? Why are you still trying to rehash this? People don't believe you, no matter how much you try and cover this up.
And again, you are the winner out of all this controversial championship.
Thank you.
Final, and then you are still complaining. I don't see anybody complain, especially Lewis Hamilton and Toto Wolff and the whole Mercedes team. And you are complaining.
That's an excellent point.
Isn't it has to be the other way around?
Yeah.
If you really think about it.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Like, dude, they're from the new season of Drive to Survive. There's an excellent interview portion with Christian Horner's wife, where she's like, yeah, it's understandable after, years of losing to Mercedes, you be competitive, you may even be focused on them. And, Christian Horner, like, completely admits, like, playing mind games and, doing all of this sort of, like, harping on somebody else is part of the sport, right? But Toto Wolff's wife responds, like, yeah, you can be competitive. Yes, you can be, like, even, targeting these people, but you don't have to be an asshole. Yeah. And that's the problem. Christian Horner is an asshole.
He's an asshole, yeah. You don't have to be so personal.
Yeah.
You can just... There's the rules. There's the standard procedures on how to complain on how to...
The management.
Say something is illegal or say something is wrong. That's why there's FIA rules.
Yeah.
Inside the Formula One. And Christian Horner just sort of ignore all this. It's like Michael Massey in a way.
yeah. Well, I mean, they are buddies.
yeah. But dude, I'm like,
no. The thing that gets me most of all is that basically, if you follow Christian Horner's logic, Mercedes is literally as powerful as the FIA to influence the outcomes of everything. Right? Yeah. So Mercedes is the one who got Massey out. Mercedes is the one who did this. Mercedes is the one who did that, right? And we're all poor guys who are just being completely railroaded by this. He completely ignores the fact that the rest of the F1 teams supported the ousting of Massey, except for Red Bull, right?
Yeah.
He completely ignores the fact that a number of other racers had problems with the calls that Massey was making throughout the season, right?
Yeah.
No. The fault solely lies with Mercedes and, Lewis Hamilton specifically. Mind you, he never attacks Bottas. Like, not once. Never did he direct any negativity towards him.
Because Bottas doesn't have any threat.
Yeah, exactly.
To Red Bull to win a championship, and Hamilton has a lot of threat.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. That's why Christian Horner is doing all this talk and giving shit on Toto Wolff and Hamilton.
Honestly, I'm if you haven't watched the new season of Drive to Survive, I don't recommend it because it is totally the Christian Horner show, like the entire season.
Yeah, I haven't I watched it 5 minutes right after he said shut the fuck up to Hamilton, and I just turned it off. Yeah.
Dude, here's
because I already know the tone of the whole season.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Hamilton or Christian Horner against Hamilton.
Yeah.
And that's basically the whole season.
Yeah.
The whole outcome. I mean, the outcome is that, but Drive to Survive will edit it to that certain extent.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It really was the Christian Horner, Daniel Ricciardo show. I've watched every episode except the last two, and I'm tired of seeing Daniel Ricciardo in every damn interview. Okay, yeah, he's a fun guy. He may be charming, whatever, but it's because nobody else really wants to give them interviews, first of all, right?
Yeah.
Realistically. And then Christian Horner, because he needs another platform to run his mouth, you know?
But for me, I rather watch Daniel Ricciardo than Christian Horner.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Christian Horner is just a... He's just a shit. I'm just gonna put it that way. He's just a shit.
He is, dude. Yeah. I don't recommend then if you don't want to get frustrated and angry, because I was literally yelling at the TV on different occasions.
It's the whole I only watched the first 5 minutes, but I already know the tone of the Drive to Survive season. It's a false advertisement.
It's funny you say that because, a lot of people have been criticizing it, saying that it showed biases, there were inaccuracies. They were showing, Hamilton celebrating at this race when they were talking about that race, and, all sorts of kind of, even Toto Wolff, was saying, as an insider, you see these narratives that they start to create, and you're like, that didn't exist. That wasn't there.
Yeah.
And even Max Verstappen has made that criticism of it. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know about all of that because obviously we're not insiders, right? Mm-hmm. But I will say this: this season of Drive to Survive was easily the most boring of all of them. The first 3 seasons, I actually really got into. I liked the pacing. I liked the sort of storytelling that they were doing. This one, dude, they literally gave 30 seconds to the entirety of the Sao Paulo race. They gave maybe 20 seconds to the US GP, in Austin, Texas. I don't know. For me, the biggest problem was the editing and storytelling were just garbage this season.
Yeah. And then I'm pretty sure they will give like at least 30 minutes for Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Red Bull and Christian Horner.
No, supposedly the last episode is all
I haven't watched
like
it.
Abu Dhabi. Supposedly, I'm on the fence about even watching it because I don't want some weird storytelling narrative.
Yeah.
You know, trying to convince me what we all know happened. It was trying to convince me that we didn't see what we all saw.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest point for me not watching it because me and you, we both, I mean, our audience that follows Formula One last season knows that what exactly happens throughout the whole season. Either is who wins, who lost. Either is who wins, who crashes, who doesn't crash, or how the level on points turned out to be, and how it got there. And and for Drive to Survive for Netflix, they are entertainment. They want entertainment.
You know what's funny? They claim that they're a sports documentary. I just saw that from one of their people, like saying that. And I was like, in what world are you a sports documentary?
If it's called sports movie, then yeah, of course it is. But it's not documentary. Documentary needs to be exactly
100% facts,
100% accurate,
no narratives. Yeah. Dude.
But for me, I will not watch Drive to Survive from this point on.
Yeah.
But because for me, it just because I already know the truth, and then like Sharif was saying, Drive to Survive trying to bring us a different perspective and different solutions. That's not gonna happen on me.
Yeah,
that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna change my mind because we do this Formula One talk, and then we dig so much into it, and it just cannot compare.
No, one of the things that really, I will admit, like really frustrated me is they spent like a good 30 seconds to a minute talking about Hamilton versus Silverstone, or like before Silverstone, saying like, oh, like Silverstone's so important, for Hamilton, and at that point in the season, he was really down on points, and he was getting backed into a corner, and Toto Wolff saying, oh, Lewis Hamilton is a lion, in the car, this and that. And then they showed the crash, and they showed, Christian Horner saying, oh, he tried to kill our driver, which, of course, was BS, especially if you look at the aerial footage of how much room, Verstappen had. And he still turned in on Hamilton, which he is known to do, And then
several occasions, actually.
Yeah. They don't show any part of that, from Sao Paulo. But then, more importantly, they didn't talk about at all Max's history of aggressive driving, trying to force himself in, and then at Monza, when after all of this happened, they didn't show any of the sort of concern that Mercedes had for Verstappen after Silverstone. Didn't talk about how they actually like reached out to him, on a number of occasions afterwards, which Toto Wolff has gone on record saying, they're like, oh, we checked up on him, yada, 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 right? And then you turn around and they show in Monza, for like all of 10 seconds of the video, the time where, Verstappen cut the inside line, which he had no need to, and literally almost killed Hamilton to the point that there were tire marks on the dude's helmet.
Yeah.
So, okay, Hamilton's the lion, he is the aggressive driver, but then this dude who literally planted his car on top of Hamilton's almost without the halo Hamilton would have died.
Yeah.
And all that Verstappen had to say, oh, well, that's what happens when you don't leave me room. Like, what? What? And Hamilton's the bad guy?
Yeah. Yeah, and don't forget, before that incident, there's what, two or maybe three almost crash incident on the same lap between Hamilton and Verstappen.
Yeah.
That Hamilton trying to avoid crash.
Yeah, they didn't show any of that.
By Verstappen's aggressive driving.
Yeah.
And somehow they didn't show that. And then it went to the conclusion of, oh, Hamilton is a bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's why I like
it's narratives, man.
Even before Drive to Survive season 4 came out, I already know that this is gonna be happening because Formula 1 wants to have more entertainment. They want to bring in more viewers and more audience. And actually they want to have a new champion. And Drive to Survive, Netflix is an entertainment company, movie company. Of course they want entertainment. And this happened to just come together so cohesively.
Dude, I see, and that's the thing. For an entertainment company, they failed, in my opinion, in creating an entertaining series. Like I said, the editing was generally very poor. Was at times kind of confusing to follow. Like they jumped around so much. Really, they would show going into third or fourth race, and then they'd backtrack to show a different set of drivers experience, and it jumped around too much. It was very non-linear, you know. And then one of the representatives had the audacity to say oh, this is a documentary series. No, you're not documenting anything accurately at all. It's so much more driven by entertainment and trying to tell personal stories that it's really not reflective of what's going on at all. So I don't know, man. I personally, Drive to Survive season 4, 2 big thumbs down. Not a fan. Don't recommend watching it.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna watch it because I just feel like it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Watching it. Yeah.
I definitely support that.
Yeah.
So, on the last thing that we wanted to talk about was in, I guess, 4 more days, not the new, I mean, it's been coming for months, but the FIA report on Abu Dhabi is finally going to be complete. And the question is, are they going to make it public? Is the FIA going to take any responsibility? Are they going to reverse their decisions? You know, what? You know, what are your predictions?
I think, to be honest, I don't think they're going to do anything. I think they're going to do nothing at all and just let it fade away. Because from their standpoint, they already have the solution. They already fixed the solution. It's by replacing Michael Massey.
Yeah.
And that's their solution.
Yeah.
And the report, the whole incident from the start of right after Abu Dhabi to up to now, it doesn't seem so aggressive. It seems that they just put it back on the storage and then just let it lay there.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't expect anything, to be honest, that come out from FIA.
That's a shame, dude. Honestly, I mean, I'm kind of with you, right? Because I don't think they want to rock the boat by reversing Max's clearly stolen, championship. I don't think that they want to admit fault, but I think if you guys have watched our previous episode on the FIA's PR disaster, I think this is going to really hurt the integrity of the sport, to be 100% honest. Which is unfortunate, really. Like, at a time where so much in the world is unstable, and I kind of hate to reference that. I think it would behoove them to be a little bit more precise and to be a little bit more accountable. And really, the last 4 months have been nothing short of just a shit show. I mean, really, the fans are in an uproar about this. It hasn't died down in 4 months. People want answers.
I don't think it will ever die down, to be honest. But I also don't think that FIA is going to give a shit about it.
I think they're, on some level, they may bank on the controversy to keep people engaged. But I don't think they realize how many people are invested in F1 for the integrity of the motorsport.
Yeah.
And there have been several campaigns that I've seen for people to unsubscribe from F1, because if it's not a sporting competition and it's sports entertainment, then exactly why watch it, right?
It's like Drive to Survive, but outside of Netflix.
I mean, it'll be scripted.
Formula One. Yeah, the whole Formula One. That's actually the way to put it. The whole Formula One last season. I don't know about the upcoming season, but the last season, it feels like Drive to Survive has their. It feels like the director of Drive to Survive stand next to Michael Massey and say, "Oh, we need this right now. We need that right now." It actually feels like that. I know that's not.
It's not the case.
How it went. But it does. It just feels like that.
Well,
in a lot of ways,
there are a lot of people who have made the argument that part of the decision to pull the safety car for the last lap was influenced by Drive to Survive, right? Like, the people at Drive to Survive completely deny it. Of course, they have not placed any undue influence. And I can understand that. They probably themselves didn't say that, right? But this whole kind of concept of just let them race inclines towards being towards entertainment. When you're not calling things by the rules and you're just letting really, like, illegal maneuvers go, then where is the integrity at that point?
Yeah.
Where is the true sport? Again, so I'm kind of with you, and it's kind of shitty because the truth of the matter is, if that persists going forward, it will be, one of the death knocks of F1. It will be one of the steps towards a very dark period in F1.
They're gonna lose a lot of not only people but a lot of support.
Yeah.
All over the globe.
Yeah.
I gotta say, all over the globe.
And that's the thing. Like, a lot of the new fans may not get it, but they make a small percentage of the fan base. And a lot of the fans come for the technical side of it, for the regulatory side of it, for the integrity of the sport. And if that evaporates, they have a massive problem on their hands.
And also, a lot of fans come from Drive to Survive.
Yeah, but I would argue that that's a small percentage.
Yeah, but again, Drive to Survive is a scripted TV show.
Yeah.
If they have that if the audience from Drive to Survive have that in mind, then when they watch Formula One in real life, they're gonna have some different perspective.
Well, you know what's also funny about that? Drive to Survive doesn't necessarily translate to an F1 TV subscription, for example. Doesn't necessarily translate to people attending the races.
Yeah.
Because I talked to a couple not too long ago who are in, again, our industry in design, one of them in VR and another one a long time car designer. And I said, oh, are you guys, watching Formula One, whatever. They're like, no, I mean, we watch Drive to Survive because it's entertaining, but to sit and watch like a whole race and to pay a monthly fee to like watch just the races don't interest us. Like, we have better things to do on our Sunday.
That's the point.
Yeah.
It's not interesting for them in those to watch it.
Right. Exactly. So it doesn't.
And that's why I think that's also influenced on the outcome of the last season, because it's not interesting in those two for new viewers, so they want to create more exciting moments, and therefore influenced Michael Massey to make that decisions, and influenced.
There's no question there. Yeah.
Red Bulls, and therefore influence the drivers. I mean, probably to make that call, and therefore influence FIA. And that's chain reaction.
But that's the problem, right? Because if you start catering to this new audience, again, you're going to lose your base. And this new audience, they're not paying money to F1. F1, is getting something out of the deal to give Netflix access, right? But it's not going to be as much as like an F1 TV subscription, for millions of new fans. And, it's not going to lead to people attending the races and yada, yada, yada,
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Like, I'm with you. I really do believe that they're going to chicken out and not share the report publicly. And I think that that's going to be a real tragedy for the sport,
I mean, it's because the reason why I think they are not going to do anything is because think about several incidents last year. The report is not out immediately.
Yeah.
They just kind of, everything that is against Hamilton that is on Red Bull's side, they don't release right away.
Yeah, remember when they couldn't find the onboard footage from Verstappen and Sao Paulo?
And that's like
how is that
really
possible?
You have all the technology right now. You have all that, all technology to support all the cameras on the car.
Yeah. Like you couldn't go to Red Bull and say, give us the onboard footage. Come on.
And then the incident happened. You just happen to not find the footage.
Yeah,
it's not like the camera just decided not to work.
Yeah, exactly.
On that split second,
Exactly. And yet somehow when Verstappen brake checked Hamilton, they were able to figure that out real quickly.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on, guys! Like,
and in Abu Dhabi, somehow they can just get the radio out right away.
Yeah.
I mean, partial of the radio and everything that is against Mercedes, it's released like a month later.
Yeah.
Like, what is his name? James.
James Wheatley or John Wheatley.
Jonathan Whitley.
Yeah.
Is it Jonathan whatever
from Red Bull?
That radio just happened to be hidden under a shadow.
Oh, I blame Sky Sports F1 for that. Really, they glossed over it, and that was the thing. Is that audio came out within 1 week right?
Yeah.
But was
Yeah.
not covered at all. Was not.
Yeah.
That's why I call Sky Sports F1 the
And
cover
PR
up
disaster.
kings.
Yeah.
You know, like
See, like everything that is go against Mercedes, everything that's go against Hamilton, it's been covered up
yeah.
for some reason, and
I honestly, I
yeah.
think it's that they don't want him to have his 8th championship, so he doesn't unseat.
Michael Schumacher.
Yeah, Schumacher.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but we'll see. I mean, conspiracy theories aside, I really do urge the FIA to come public. You know, and
At
you
least
know,
give us something.
yeah,
that
a
we
fair
have hope
resolution. You know,
That we give us a hope on the future of Formula One.
yeah.
Give
I
us
agree.
give us as a real fan something to be excited about, not scripted. You know.
Yeah. No, well said. Well said. And I think we'll leave it there, man. You know, we covered a lot today. We covered testing. We covered, you know, the zero pods. We covered, you know, Horner's endless mouth, you know, again, because the guy just refuses to shut up. And we covered the new season of Drive to Survive. Please leave a comment below, you know, on any one of these issues. We'd love always to hear your opinions on this stuff. And if you got this far, which, you know, statistics show most people don't get this far. But
we're just saying the truth.
yeah, if you did get this far in the video, we have a Twitter account at Object Passion. Give us a follow. We're continuing our discussion of F1 over there. And hey, we appreciate and love you guys. So I'm Sharif. That's Joe.
I'm Joe.
And thanks for tuning in for another week of F1 Talk discussion.
Ah.
Peace.